All right. I had one person who came to me and said that one of their MRs, it was taking a week before they were even getting any response. Well, they still didn't get any response after waiting a week, and they pinged the whoever was assigned through the roulette process. Still no response, and I said it's a 2-day business day turnaround as the SLO. So it seems, after I've done some research, it seems to be a bit of an isolated situation, but I just wanted to see if anybody else was seeing this problem as well, because if so, probably should figure out what to do about it. But yeah, I'll just leave it at that. Anybody else seeing any problem with not getting MR feedback in a timely manner?
I haven't seen it in a while. When I do see it, it's usually when the MR steps outside of our team, and I have sort of less control over hurting people around it.
Yeah.
But most of our work is self-contained, and so it's not all that frequent.
Most of our work is not self-contained, so.
Gotcha.
Yeah. If nobody else is seeing it, I'll just see it as a one-off then. What were you saying, Nick?
I was saying the limited lifespan of ecosystem, I haven't seen any major delays. So okay. I've been actually pleasantly surprised at the speed, kind of having heard that it could take a while.
Yeah. So we had that. We had kind of the kind of problem before when we had less maintainers, but I think we are adding more maintainers every quarter, but not a whole lot. Wonder if there's just a maintainer, the number of maintainers, or is a particular, a specific case.
Yeah, I think it's a one-off, and it wasn't maintainer. This was just first review, and the incident in question, the person was new and didn't know that they should ping after 2 business days, but I've been reinforcing that with my team. If you don't hear anything after 2 business days, reach out to that person directly. And if another day goes by or another 2 days go by, just find somebody else. We shouldn't be waiting on reviewers like that. And if it continues to be a problem, then we'll figure out what to do next. But sounds like an isolated incident. I'm not too worried about it then.
Okay, cool. And Nick, you're next.
Yeah, I just wanted to provide a quick update on this Go interview issue. So I've taken a look at the 2 main Go interviews out there. I think there's also one for Gitaly, but I haven't had a chance to look at it. I think the more general one is sort of based off of the Gitaly Go interview. But the secure one is, I mean, it's a great interview. It's very in-depth. A couple cons about it, aside from being sort of specialized for secure, is that Fabian is also like the only one that administers it right now, because it's so nuanced and specialized. So I think there's a lot we can learn from it. But Dan Croft recommended going with that general one. He thought it would be a good place for us to start. He did recommend that I talk to Dylan Griffith. I think he's was already starting to look at being a Go interviewer, and is going to be going to be working with Search. And I think Search is the main team that we want these Go interviews for, right? I for some reason was saying Search and database, but I think looking at the specialties, it's more just Search, right?
Yeah, and we've kind of changed our stance on that just in the last week or so. Go is kind of future looking. It'd be nice if engineers came in and had some of that Go background, but if they don't have Ruby on Rails, they're not going to be effective on the Search team, and we really need them to be effective to start. So it's not super urgent for the Search team right now. Probably when we get a couple more engineers in, then maybe we'll switch to needing specific Go engineers when we figure out what we can actually break off. But for now, we're going to stick with the Ruby on Rails technical assessment.
Okay.
So should I just sort of put that on hold then, or?
My suggestion: we still work on this and finalize the, just to get it ready. And sure. we don't know next year. I mean, long term.
Yeah. It might take us that long to get a good generic Go assessment in place. So yeah, maybe lower in urgency, but certainly something we're still going to need. So I still think it's a worthy effort because people didn't even know we had one, much less two Go technical assessments. So
Yeah.
consolidating on one would be great.
Yeah, I was not aware there were two. I was only aware of the security one, but it looks like there is a more general version. We can evolve on that version, or I mean, let's don't create another one. Just to use the current general one and work with the folks to tweak it to be more general. If it's already general enough, then we just use it.
Yeah, I guess what I'd like to do, and open to thoughts here for sure, is talk to Dylan and also talk to I think Jason and DJ on distribution, and just try to at least get like one or two of them like prepped as Go interviewers, even if we don't need it right away, because there are plenty of Go interviews happening in other parts of the company. And so even just getting them shadowing those and familiar with it, I think will help us sort of get ahead of things when it does come time to hire specifically for Go.
Yeah, actually, do you mind to make another issue to track that we want to have someone to schedule the current Go interviews so they get prepared after, I mean,
Sure.
after this test is finalized, or we chose to go with this Gitly Go interview, then have someone to just start shadowing the interviews.
Sure, we'll do.
Cool. And then the next one is also yours, internship working group.
Yeah, just wanted to say that I'm participating in this internship pilot working group. So if anyone specifically has ideas or questions about it, reach out or check out the issue board. I kind of do most of the work in there, of course. And I also put a link to the page in the handbook. So just in case anyone has a particular interest in internships.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm just reading through it now.
I think everyone should think about if you want an intern on your team. And I mentioned this to Nick before. And I mean, it's going to be very interesting how this remote intern works, because the internship program primarily is to bring the good experience to the interns so they will come back to us. And this remote, because the nature of intern.
Yeah, one of the one of the big things that's being discussed right now is whether we actually want it to be remote or we want to do co-location. I think people are generally in favor of co-location, so we might bring a cohort to a city that has a good amount of GitLabbers, ideally with maybe a couple people who would be willing to come on site to wherever they're co-working from and sort of be in-person mentors. So you still sort of, the interns still have a cohort and they can support each other and meet GitLab team members in person, but still sort of get the GitLab remote experience working with people from all around the world. I have some concerns about that too, just making sure that they still get that remote experience. But yeah, it's a tricky issue.
Yeah, looking at the titles of the issues that you have for the board, I would question even having like brand new interns for us because of how complex the company is, right? Even if we had cohorts and co-working spaces, it probably wouldn't be full-time because of the remote nature of the company. Do they have like minimum qualifications, like have to be like junior or senior year? Because I can't imagine like a freshman or sophomore succeeding. I think they would be rare if they succeeded in this environment. So do they have minimum requirements they're defining?
Yeah, I mean, this is still very much in its infancy. So I mean, those are the types of things we want to talk about. And something that did come up was we don't just want it to be open to, say, university students, but it's kind of for anybody who has not had a first job in like who has not had a full-time job in software engineering. So this could even be like a dev bootcamp grad with a family, and that has a whole set of considerations too, because we might still want to have some remote slots in case somebody can't get away for an entire summer to be with the cohort. So yeah, I think that's a good point though, and I'll be sure to bring that up. Like, you know, what kind of how can we maybe evaluate for like maturity level and ability to handle this type of situation, whatever we're proposing.
And that actually is a good option other than the college students, because there are, you know, fresh college graduates. We can probably put them on intern and test like 6 to 9 months, then it can work.
Well, and at Puppet, they opened up the internship to non-traditional paths too, and we got quite a few good hires from that, folks that came over from other industries. So they had, you know, professional career background, and they would probably be better suited to the remote experience as well. So yeah, that's great. That's being considered.
Yeah, that'd be great. And then that will open a door for us to hire some folks that we felt there is a potential, but we're not quite sure if they will work out here.
Yeah. Right.
Cool, great. And my next item is mine. So just a heads up, schedule the meeting this Thursday. Don't worry if you can't attend, but it's basically the goal is to bring us onto the same page about this FY21 planning. And before that meeting, please look at the spreadsheet. Let me add the link here. Please look at the spreadsheet and then calibrate the FY20 current status. So that includes everything everybody you already hired, or you still have a rack. Then count the open rack and the hired person in the numbers. So make sure the numbers are correct. And for this year, I think we're pretty much fixed, and we know what this year looks like. So just to calibrate numbers, put there. And Thursday, the meeting, we just need to get onto the same page what the numbers are for, you know. I had a question. It looks like there were confusions.
Yes.
Yeah, whether they're net new or the total number.
Do they not have like previous year's spreadsheets, or was it a completely different format?
Let me share another one, which is the last year's result, final planning result. So let me add last year.
Also, why are only verify, package, I guess release and enablement in here, but not other?
I think Josh just reused this spreadsheet. This was initially created by the CI/CD, and Josh just append to this. Or this is pretty much the working doc from product perspective, and every product manager will come here to add their stuff. But so far, this spreadsheet only carries the CI/CD and enablement. So the verify, package, release, those are all the groups in CI/CD section. So I shared the last year's planning, and you can look at it as a reference. That was the outcome from last year's planning.
Yeah, I saw this too, and it's...
Yeah, we were pretty much hiring according to this plan. Yeah, we were very much hiring according to this plan for this year.
So, okay. So our new one is different, you know. Yeah. And it's hard to word it in Slack so everybody understands. So if you look at the new one, like geo goes from being named geo to geo distribution, I think, which was my first question. Is that right?
Fabian actually planned to break up the geo team to 3 groups. One is a geo replication, one is disaster recovery, and the other is backup restore. So
Okay.
I would have the same question for you guys too. So please think about it. So for Stephen, although look at this spreadsheet, that although it's omnibus, cloud native marketplaces, do you want to break up or you want to keep this and the categories? Because the group is one level and the category is another level. So category is under the group. Each group will be a team.
Yeah.
And then you can put a full team there, have a manager for that team. The category doesn't necessarily to be a new team. It can be in the same team. And then for ecosystem, Nick, so you want to talk to Patrick to break up or just to stay with categories and say, Craig, you think about memory, search database.
Yeah, I think my teams are fine, but we need to carry over the numbers from the previous year. And if we want to show growth, then those numbers just need to get bigger. So, okay.
Yeah, I don't know if this is the place to ask about it, but is there, I mean, a limit on team size? Because what we're finding is that we may sort of go beyond this. I think maybe like 7 to 10 recommended, but we're not quite sure if it feels right to break that out into a separate into a team for a separate category just yet.
General preference here, or general practice here so far is each manager has about 5 to 6 direct reports. So that's a general guideline, but there are definitely teams more than that. That's probably, temporary.
Like Stephen?
Yeah, 8.
Yeah. There are also other teams in other sections in a similar situation. So some of those teams were in the process of split. So once the team is growing to a manageable size, the split will happen.
Okay, thank you.
But think about it. Whether talk to your product manager whether you want to break up. Promote the categories to be group or something. So look at the column B, C, and D. So B is basically the section level. Well, the CI/CD actually shifted more. The stage for CI/CD actually is a group. And then the group is basically, I guess it's anyway, it's not consistent, but each group will be a team. Just reference the issue labels, group, memory, group, ecosystem. So that is a team. Cool. Any other topics?
Nope.
Cool. Okay. Then that will be it today. Let's call the meeting.
Sounds good. Have a good one.
Have a good day, everyone.